Good morning students, welcome back to Java class. In today's class, I'll explain you about layout, layout manager and different types of layouts available in Java. See layout. Layout means arrangement of components. See when you are adding a text field, passwords, checkboxes and different menus and buttons on the screen. And arrangement of that components on the screen is nothing but the layout. Okay, so layout is nothing but arrangement of components within the container. Okay, arrangement of components within the container. See example, if you have a one place example, you have a one shelf and how you are arranging different books, pens in that shelf is nothing but layout. So when you have a container and when you have a different types of components and how you are arranging that components on that in that container is nothing but the layout. Okay, and we can also see that placing of the components at a particular position means if you have a components, how you want components here is nothing but text field, text area, buttons and all. So if you have a more number of components and where you want to display that component, top or left or right or bottom, where you want to display. So, okay, positioning is nothing but the layout. And in Java, layout is possible by using a layout manager. Okay, so layout manager is nothing but it is also like a class. It provides, it automatically arrange the elements, automatically it will position the elements. Okay, so here you can see the definition. The layout manager automatically position all the components within the container. Means whenever you are adding any component to the container, automatically that components are arranged by the layout manager. Okay, and it also actually what is the main job of the layout manager is it will control the position of the component. See when you are adding any button or any checkbox, any radio button, any text field and text area, that is controlled and that is positioned by the layout manager. Okay, and here where we have a different types of layout managers. Okay, first one is Java dot border layout, Java dot flow layout and Java dot grid layout, Java dot card layout, Java dot grid back layout, Java X swing box layout. We have a number of layouts. Okay, so first here we'll discuss about border layout. Okay, see what is the main job of the border layout. See border layout is a layout which organizes the components in a particular direction. See when you are adding any component to the container, where that means in which direction that component should be displayed. Means whatever component you are adding, where it should be displayed. It should be displayed north side of the window, north side of the frame, or south side, east, west or center. Where you want to display, in which direction you want to display that component is nothing but the border layout. Okay, so border layout is nothing but the layout which organizes components in terms of direction. Okay, so whatever components you are adding, in which direction you want to add that component. Okay, it divides the frame into 5 sections. So whatever panel is there, whatever frame is there, no, and that frame is divided into 5 sections. One is the north, south, east, west and center. So whatever window is there, that is divided into the 5 sections and you can add element to that particular section. See here, and one more point you need to see here. It is used to add method to add the components at a specified region. So if you want to add a example component at the left side of the frame, so you need to use if you want to add a component at the north side, then you need to add this component border layout dot north. Means your element will be displayed at the north position of your frame. So depends on the direction you want to display, you can select any one of this component. As I already said, frame window is divided into your 5 regions: north, south, east, west and center. So where you want to display your component, based on that you select this. Okay, here you can see the example program. AWD package and swing packages, 2 packages I am including this. Using these 2 packages we can create a frame, you can create a bird, you can add the components. Okay, but compared to the AWD package we have a more facilities, more features in a swing package. But even though I am adding these 2 packages, see, public class border layout demo. Here public access specifier, class is a keyword, border layout is the name of the class, and here I am creating an object to the frame. Here JFrame I am using, and JFrame class you are getting from a swing package. Okay, JFrame and a frame is an object equals to new JFrame. Okay, one object I am creating. Here is the frame is nothing but the window where you can add the different components. Now after that you see how many buttons I am creating. 5 buttons, and these 5 buttons I want to display in 5 different directions. Okay, I want to display these 5 buttons in 5 different directions. Understood? Now here one constructor I am creating, border layout demo. Why it is a constructor? Because the name of this method and the name of the class is same. So if the name of the class and the name of the method is same, then that is called as a constructor. So first 5 buttons I have declared. J button, B1, B2, B3, B4, B5. 5 buttons I am creating. See here, B1 equals to new button. Now here B1 is nothing but the object. New north, B2 south, B3 east, B4 west, B5 middle. So 5 directions I am giving, and in 5 directions 5 buttons are added. In the north side B1 is added, south side B2 is added, east side B3 is added, west side B4 is added, and in the middle B5 is added. Okay, actually first 5 objects I am creating. See, according already frames I explained, whenever you want to add any component in a frame, first you need to create a frame object. Next you need to create objects for the components whatever you want to add on the browser on the frame. Next you need to add that components to the frame by using the add method. Okay, now you see here frame is an object of the frame. Now dot add. See, frame is it is like a rectangle area where we want to add our components. Frame dot add. Add is a method. What is the use of this method? Using this method we can add different components on the screen. So add is a method. Now B1 is nothing but the first button. Border layout dot north. Border layout, see here I have given methods already. Border layout north, border layout south, border layout east, border layout west, border layout center. So first button where I am adding north side. Okay, where I am adding north side. Second button B2 I am adding south side. Third button B3 I am adding east side. Fourth button B4 I am adding west side, and button 5 I am adding at the center. Okay, now so in the last class already I explained, whenever you are adding any components you need to give the size of the frame also. So here what is the size of the frame? 250 pixels from a left and 250 pixels from a top. So 250 window. See here 250 is nothing but the size of this window. You can see here total border layout I have given now. So this border layout, the window size is 250 pixels. Now it is visible true. This type of program already I explained in the last class. Okay, so first we are creating a frame object, Next we are creating objects for the components, and we are adding that components to the frame using the add method. That's it. See here, first button north side, second button west, third one is the middle, not third, what is the third one here? Third one, third button is east, fourth button is west, fifth button is the center. So 5 buttons are added in 5 different places. Okay, see, so the total border layout, this window is there, no? This is called as a frame. Here east, west, north, south and middle are called as the components. And first we are creating a frame, and the frame size is a 250 to 50 pixels. On that frame we are adding a 5 buttons. First we are creating objects to the button, objects to the buttons. Next we are adding these buttons in a different directions. Okay, so for border we have a 5 directions. In the 5 directions we are adding a 5 different buttons. Okay, so this is a border layout. Okay, so what it is a border layout. The next one is flow layout. Flow, see, flow is a default layout manager for every panel, means every frame. It simply layouts the components in a single row. See example, you have a 5 components. In this example we have a 5 components. That 5 components are displayed in a 5 different directions. But example, so if you want to display all these 5 buttons in a single direction, in a single row, then we'll use the flow layout. So flow layout display all the components, whatever components you are adding in a one direction, means left to right. All the elements, all the components of buttons, text fields, text areas, whatever you are adding to the panel, that will be displayed in only single row. When it reaches to the first row, it will come to the, at the end of the first row, it will come to the second row. So only thing we need to remember is, when you are using a flow layout manager, it will display all the components only in one direction, that is left to right, means all the elements are displayed in a single row. Okay, now here you can see the program. Same as I already said, AWT package and AWT event class I am using, means I am using event class from a AWT package. Now public is the access specifier, class is a keyword, flex example FL is the name of the program, right? And here is a main method. Our program execution start from a main method. Now here you see I am creating, as already said, see, whenever you are creating a program based on AWT components, first you need to create a frame object. You will get a screen, means you will get some area on the screen to add the components. So first you need to create the object for the frame. Next you need to create objects for the components, whatever you want to display on the screen. Next you need to add these components to the frame. Okay, frame object, components object, you need to use the add method. After that you need to set the size of the frame also. Understood? First frame object, next button objects, next you need to add the buttons to the frame, next you need to give the size of the frame also. Now here first thing, I am creating an object. Okay, first I am creating an object. Next here I am creating a panel, and you see how many buttons I am creating? 5 buttons I am creating, BA1, BA2, BA3, BA4, BA5. This 5 button BA1, B2, BA2, BA3, BA4, BA5 are the objects of the button. See, in AWT it is compulsory that whenever you are adding any component, if you are adding any component, you need to create object of that component, because Java is a truly object oriented programming. So first you need to create object here. So first frame I have created, next objects of the components I have created. Now you see we are adding a panel here, PA, okay, panel to the frame. Now you see layout, PA set layout is a new flow layout, and a new button India. See here first layout I am creating panel. One panel I am creating using a panel object. And you see for panel how many buttons we are adding. 5 buttons we are adding. Understood? So first button is India, second button is Pakistan, third one is Japan, and the fourth one is China, fifth one is a country. Different. 5 buttons I have added. Now what is the size of the frame? 300. And set visible is already explained in the last class. See, you see the screen here. Total, you see the panel, one area, one row is nothing but that. Total, how many buttons I have added? 5 buttons. India, Pakistan, Japan, China and countries. So, and all these 5 buttons are added in a single row only. And this is possible by using a flow layout manager. Okay, flow layout is nothing but it is one type of layout where you can arrange all the elements in a single row only. Now, the next one is a grid layout. See, in the name itself you have a definition, grid. Grid means what? It is a collection of rows and column. Okay, it is a combination of rows and column. So using this grid layout, you can arrange all the elements. You can arrange all the elements in rows and columns. Okay, see, you see the definition here. The grid layout widely used for arranging components in a rows and column. So whatever components you have, example, you have 5 components, 6 components, 7, how many, let it be how many components you have. But all the components you can arrange in a rows and columns in a single frame. Okay. And for this here we have 3 constructs. Grid layout, second construct, the first one is a constructor. The second one is a grid layout, int rows and int columns. I mean how many rows you want and how many columns you want in that frame, that you can give. The third one is a grid layout, int rows, int columns and the int horizontal gap and vertical gap between components. See, here again I am using a swim package. Okay, if you want you can write program with only the AWD package also, but if you include the swim package you will get more classes and more features. So that is why here I am including swim package. Now you see, class I am creating. What is public class and what is the name of the class here? Grid demo. We can give any name. So here I am giving the name of the class as grid demo. Okay, now see here I am creating a frame. Okay, what is first as already said, if you are creating a frame, if you want to create a frame on the screen, first you need to create object to that frame. Okay, see first here JFrame frame 1 equals to new frame. You can see in the constructor frame 1 equals to new frame, means here frame 1 is the object of frame class. See, if you create object, then only you can do something in Java. So it may be a frame or it may be a button, it may be whatever component it may be. First you should create object to that component. Understood? So frame 1 is an object, new JFrame. Now after that, how many buttons I am creating here? You see, box 1, box 2, box 3, box 4, box 5, box 6, box 7, box 8, box 9 and 10. Total 10 buttons I am creating. Okay, how many buttons I am creating? Total 10 buttons I am creating. And what is the label of the buttons? For first button 1, second button 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So labels also already have given. Now, as already said, if you have created a frame object and the button object, then you need to add that buttons to the frame using a add method. So here, frame 1 dot add. Frame 1 dot add. Frame 1 is the object of the frame and add is a method. Add is a method and box 1 is the object. So like this, total 9 buttons I have created, and that 9 buttons I am adding to the frame. You see, frame 1 add box 1, box 2, box 3, box 4, box 5, box 6, box 7, box 8, box 9, like 9 buttons I have added. Now, what layout we are selecting here? Grid layout. So when you select grid layout, whatever components are there, that components you can arrange in a rows and columns. So here you see I am using a second constructor here, rows and column. So in the layout, what type of layout I am selecting here? The layout, in that I want whatever components are there. Total how many components I have given? 9 components I have given, and that 9 components I want to arrange in 3 rows and 3 columns. See here I have given 3 rows and 3 columns. First parameter for a row and the second parameter for a column. So in the screen I want 3 rows and 3 columns. And what is the size of the frame here? 500 pixels. 500 pixels I am giving. 500 height and 500 width. That much frame I want. And in that frame, how many buttons I am adding? 9 buttons. And whatever that 9 buttons are there, no, that 9 buttons I want to arrange in 3 rows and 3 columns. See here, see the expected output for this. 3 rows, 3 columns. Total how many buttons? See, you can see asterisk 1, asterisk 2, asterisk have given. So that 9 I am arranging in 3 rows and 3 columns, because here I have selected the layout, grid layout. Grid layout means whatever components you are adding, that components are displayed in rows and columns. And in each and every row, how many components you want to display? 3. First row 3 components, second row 3 components, and last row 3 components. So 3 rows and 3 columns. So based on your layout, you can give 2 rows and 3 rows, 3 components, or 4 rows, like depends on your requirement. See, if you are giving a grid layout means you can arrange the elements either in rows, you can arrange elements in rows and columns. Okay, so that you can give. So this is the grid layout. Understood. Now come to the card layout. See, card layout, first I will show you the output. See, this array, I forgot to give the card layout output. See, the card layout, what happened is, if you have a more number of elements also, but at a time only one element will be displayed. Okay, example, if you have 9 components, but at a given time only one component will be displayed and the remaining will be hidden, and based on if you'll give the remaining buttons as a search query, that will be displayed. So here you see, card layout is usually manages several components. So using a card layout, you can display several components, but displaying one of them at a time and hiding the rest. So card layout, using a card layout also, we can display more number of components, but at a given time only one component will be displayed. And what about the remaining? They will be in a hidden state, means they are invisible. And card layout assigns names to the component. It manages and lets you jumps to a component by name. So example, one component is displayed, and if you want to display another component, just you need to type that component in the text field, then you will move from the current component to the required component. But using a card layout, we can display only one component at a given time. We can display more number of, you can manage with a more number of components, but it will display only one component at a given time. Okay, understood? So here you see the example. Same 3 packages I am using here, and the name of the program is card demo. Okay, card demo means here like only one element will be displayed in a given area. Card layout. Now how many buttons I am adding? 3 buttons. Now come to the constructor. Here I am creating a object for the panel, means a frame we are creating. Next, card layout is 40-30. Size of the card is 40 and 30. So here how many buttons I am adding to the screen? You see, box 1, box 2, box 3, box 4. Total 3 buttons I am adding. Box 1, box 2, box 3. Understood? Now box 1 we are adding to the frame, and here whenever already I explained this, whenever you will use the button, no, so instead of simple add method you need to use add actioner listener, event handling you need to use. Okay, so if you use event handling, then only you can add the button to the screen. Okay, because here buttons are performing some action. So when buttons are performing some action, it is important that you need to include the event handler of that button. Okay, now 3 buttons I am giving action listener as an event handler. Now see here, d dot add box 1, box 2, box 3. Here D is nothing but the panel, the area where you are adding the components. So that area, here I am adding the box 1, box 2, box 3. So 3 buttons I am adding. Okay, see here, and here object I am creating, next I am calling the method. Understood? So this is about card. Means using a card means if you have a more number of components also, only one components will be displayed at the given time. Now grid bag layout. Grid bag layout. See, grid bag layout, it is like a grid only. Okay, already I explained. The grid means whatever components you have, all the components you can display in a grid. Like you can display components in the form of rows and columns, not either single row, not a single column. You can display components in a rows and column. But what is the difference between this grid and grid layout? Okay, grid bag layout. Understood? See here, grid bag layout is sophisticated flexible layout manager. Flexible means depends on your requirement. You can you can increase height and width of the grid. See, in case of grid layout, if you have given 3 rows and 3 columns, each and every box, each and every cell displayed with the equal size. But you want to display cells with the different sizes, different height, different width of the boxes, then you can go for a grid bag layout. So that is why this grid bag layout is called as a flexible layout manager. Flexible means according to your requirement, you can increase the height of the row and the width of the row also. Okay, see, grid bag, it is a flexible layout manager. It aligns components by placing them with a grid of cells, allowing components to span more than one cell. Means you can merge the different columns also. You can merge the different rows also. So that is called as a span. Okay, merging is nothing but the span. So using a grid bag layout, we can merge the different rows and different columns according to your requirement. Example, in the second row, in this example, in the second row, instead of 3 columns, whatever space I have given for 3 columns, for all 3 columns, I have merged into a single. Okay, see, in the first row, 3 buttons I have given. Instead of that 3, in the second row, I want only the 1 button. So what I am doing, whatever 3 columns are there, that I am merging. Okay, so this is possible by using a grid bag layout. Understood? It is similar to the grid only, but here we can extend, we can merge the different columns and rows. Now box layout. Okay, so in the box layout, whatever components you are displaying, example, if you have 5 components, that 5 components, to display that 5 components, here will take 5 rows. Means in a single row, only 1 component will be displayed, not more than that. See, here you can see the definition. The box layout class puts the components in a single row or single column. It respects the components requested maximum size, and also let you align the components. Means whatever components are there, example, if you are displaying a student name, father name, like that, so in one row only 1 component will be displayed. Okay, and for that you can set the alignment, but basically in one row only 1 component will be displayed by using a box layout. Okay, so this is about the layouts. Layout is nothing but arrangement of elements. Okay, what is the layout? Layout is nothing but the arrangement of elements or arrangement of components. See example, when you are designing any web application, example, student name, father name, hobbies of the student, and when you are asking the user to submit the details, so there we are using a different types of components. So when you are using a different types of components, then it is very important to how to arrange that components. Okay, so that arrangement we can decide by using the layout, how to arrange, which one is first, which one is next. Either you want to display elements in the row or in the column or in the tabular format, then we can select by using a layout. And layout manager is responsible for arranging all the elements. So in according to your syllabus, we have a different types of layouts here: border layout, flow layout, grid layout, card layout, grid bag layout, and box layout. In a border layout, see the first one is a border layout. You can display elements in a different direction: north, east, west, south, and middle. And the next flow layout means whatever elements are there, that will be displayed in a single row. Okay, depends on the layout you have chosen. Based on that, the components will be displayed. And a grid layout means whatever elements are there, that will be displayed in a rows and columns. Grid bag layout means you can display elements in a rows and columns only, but each and every component size may be different. Okay, now card layout means if you have more than one element, also if you have number of elements, example 10 elements, if you have, also only one component will be displayed at a given time. Okay, and the last one is a border layout, box layout. In a box layout, only in a single row we can display only one element. So this is about layouts. In the next class, I'll explain you about swings. Thank you.